Good evening, gentlemen. In front of me, let's start with the one and only from the Supersonic blues machine, Mr. Fabrizio Grossi. He's the bass player and the producer of the band. And left of him, right of him, I don't think that we don't know him. He's from a famous group, but he's now joining this evening the band during their European tour. I can say that, so yes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, welcome in Belgium. It's the country this week where music must slide for steps.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be some craziness.
So we hope that we can win this night.
Yes.
So then we play the big final in Russia. Thank you again for your time.
Yeah.
For this interview for Roots Time. We are a music website. We have about 250,000 people every month that come to visit us for the reviews on the CDs, on the shows, on the gigs, and like tonight, the small interviews.
Good.
Let me start with the beginning. The story of the Supersonic blues machine started I think in LA, where some friends came together. And
actually, this too. He started. It started off with a phone call from this gentleman here.
Then that's new for me. But
yeah,
I wrote something that his friends met in LA.
We did.
And there were songs that they wanted to record. They gathered another friend, Mr. Aronov, and the singer, the Lance Lopez.
Well, Kenny and I were met about 10 years ago.
Yes.
While touring with Steve Lukather. And since we were doing a jam band,
sections of
Goodfellas, yes. And since we wanted to continue that kind of vibe, we were looking to, to get somebody else involved, since Lukather was getting really busy again with Toto and Ringo Starr and his solo career. Right, and that's when him and I started to work on a lot of records together that I was producing, with Leslie West, and we ended up working with Joe Bonamassa and Slash and a bunch of other artists. Billy and I have been friends from before and do other production and projects, songwriting. He calls me one night. Well, then you should take it. You should take it from here.
So there was a ZZ Top record coming together, but there was one song that was called a derivative work, and it was started as a hip hop record from Houston, Texas. But ZZ Top is not a hip hop band. We did a blues version. And everybody likes the song, but we did not have permission to release it. The problem was the two writers, Fat Pat, Little Kiki, they were killed. They got in a gunfight. So we didn't know how to find the estate. I called Fabrizio. I said, we gotta write one more song. I've got a small idea. I'm coming to your studio. He said, yeah, we're open today. We got together, and in 1 hour we had this new song, Running Whiskey. And it was a really good song. I went back, the phone call came in, they said, oh, we found the hip hop people. We can now use this song. I said, Fabrizio. He said, oh, it's a good song, Running Whiskey. You're gonna use this other one? No, let's use Running Whiskey. I said, well, they want this one. He said, what am I gonna do with this good song? And I said, I was kind of like being funny. I said, find a drummer and a guitarist, write 9 more songs, you have a CD. Well, guess what? He did. And that was the start.
That was the start. And the week after we did that, Government Mule came to play into town. And back then I was producing a record with Warren Haynes, a posthumous record on Tommy Bolin, where we had a bunch of other friends of ours playing on it. And we were exchanging mixes and stuff like that. So I go to see him at the Orpheum, and as soon as I walk on the tour bus, I don't know if he probably talked with Billy or what, or maybe Kenny. Yeah, I think Kenny, because they were doing the Greg Allman tribute somewhere in North Carolina. And he says, so when do we play? What do you mean? Yeah, the project, man. You know, I wanted to. Oh, cool. Well, I have an idea actually for a song. Just send it over. So we exchanged things within a couple of weeks. We had a song ready. We just needed to find the time where to record it. And back then, I was working on the production of Lance's solo record. And you know, we're in the room together. He says, "Hey, we're doing these things. Well, don't you come along?" And he's like, "Yeah, that sounds good." And then, you know, one after the other. Eric Gales, Walter Trout, that finally was able to come back to music after this adventure with the liver transplant and everything. So that's how we started. The idea for us was to have like a music community, not necessarily, oh, okay, this is the band, but just have a group like in the end of the 60s, early 70s, like the Who and the Stones will do, just go out and bring some of their friends and keeping it fresh, you know. Obviously blues inspired, but whatever comes out, you know. That's the name of the band, Blues in the Machine, but Supersonic, meaning it's gonna go somewhere else, you know, it's not traditional, you know.
You're a blues influenced band, but you don't play only blues, no? Blues, rock, funk, soul.
Well, for the first record I like to say, we played 50 Shades of Blues.
Yeah.
50 Shades.
But then was Peter Noble, the British journalist, that once we released California Soul, says like,
said,
I think that's the style that you guys play. That's California Soul.
But like you said, you can't start a project without friends. That's, I think, how you met Mr. Gibbons, that's how you met all the other guys.
Well, we're all...
Will they be always a part of the show, a part of the idea?
At the end of the day, like I said, you know, this kind of started off with Kenny, but Billy came in. Actually, Billy is one of our friends that did the most shows with us, because actually he's the one that gave us the idea. And you know, we always had a great time when we worked together. And I don't know who's gonna come next. You know, depends. You know, if it changes all the time.
Yeah,
you know?
it's all about the good times that we get to share.
Together with it.
As the old saying goes, if you're having a good time, there's no reason to do something else.
We worked together in India with Eric Gales, for example, but then we played Norway, and we had Robin Ford, we have Steve Lukather, and we have Walter Trout with us. So it depends, you know, I never know.
You want to get ready? I can continue.
Sure, yes, let's do that. Yeah, because you can. You know what? He has more time than me, so thanks again, guys.
The next
We'll see you later.
The next question was a question from Mr. Gibbons, so that's correct. Mr. Gibbons, how different is the Supersonic Blues Machine project from compared with your other projects? I forgot the names, but you're not only the man from the Supersonic. Is it a different project when you compare it with your other projects?
Well, I like to come back to it seems like the best way to compare it is always about having good time. And I see you've done your homework with this.
Yeah.
This was very different.
Yeah, that was the next question, but yeah, you saw it already, yeah.
But we had an interesting time going in this direction. There's a new solo project coming called The Big Bad Blues, and it's
your solo.
Yes,
so that's the only record that you ever made yourself. So
yes, solo.
2015, I think.
Yep.
Difficult name. Perfecta Mundo.
Yeah.
But it's an whole other kind of music, so that's not comparable. This is the music of Supersonic.
Yeah, this Perfecto Mundo, of course, started with a phone call. There was an invitation to play Havana, Cuba, the Havana Jazz Festival. And I said, oh, wait, I don't want to take a rock and roll party to a jazz festival. Let's see if we can make something with Cuban flavor, which is this one.
This one, and your next project?
The new one.
The new solo project, I call it?
Yeah, I was speaking with Mr. John Burke. He's the president of Concord Records. He said, you know,
the guy with the money.
He said, I think we've done a proper project going to Cuba. He said, could we get you to go back to blues, more something, a little more blues?
Like the
I said,
blues.
yeah, I said, we can do this. That's how we started.
What have you learned from this project for yourself?
From Supersonic.
Yeah.
I liked his explanation that it has the roots of this bluesiness, but this word supersonic allows it to go in some other places as well. It's not traditional. But I'm learning so much from all the different musicians. Everybody brings a flavor that makes it's I wouldn't call it a challenge. It's actually an excursion into the unknown with a reward. It's good times.
I have another question. Do you have also a life outside of music? Do you have interests in, I don't know, that's it.
Yeah.
Perfect the question.
We
all only knew you as a musician, but that must also be a man.
Yeah, I like to spend time. I've got a friend running a shop in California.
Yeah.
And we're always working on hot rod cars. It's a big West Coast California thing. And we've got one working now. I would think we'll spend some time. At the end of this year, I think that I'll have some time to go wrenching the hammer, and I'm working on this car.
Working with your hands.
Yeah, yeah. Next year, 2019, is 50-year anniversary of ZZ Top.
50.
Yeah.
You know that you were last year in Belgium in Peer, at Louis Peer.
Yeah. That's wild.
It was a great show.
So yeah, there's all kinds of things, but this is what we like doing as good as anything. Playing music that's the backbone.
Interesting, yeah. Are there still things that you want to do? Some items on the bucket list that you have in your mind that you say?
Well, I got very excited coming to Belgium. I have a hobby of collecting African art.
Oh.
And there's
typical wood art or paint art? Or no?
Wood. Yep.
Statues, masks.
Mm-hmm. Of course, I know Antwerp. There's a dealer in Antwerp. A lot of dealers in Brussels.
Brussels also. And
there's one here. There's one tribal art gallery. I have the name. It was on the list of things to do.
GIBBONS in SINT-NIKLAAS, that's here in the city.
Yeah.
GIBBONS. But he's also in a shop with African art. Great.
So we're staying tonight, maybe tomorrow in the daytime. We don't leave until late. Mm-hmm. I'll go see Mr. Coppens.
I have a last question. What did you learn about yourself by being a musician?
Well, I'm still learning that, but there was one, someone said, what is one of the more important things that music has brought? And I said, well...
In a way, the same question, yes.
It's still coming, but someone said, what's the most important lesson you learned? Mm-hmm. Learn to play what you want to hear. Mm-hmm. You know, when I was first starting, someone said, oh, you must take lessons. And I said, oh, maybe, okay, I'll try it. But the teacher he wanted me to go this way and I wanted to go this way. I said, no more lessons. Learn to play what you want to hear. And it works.
Okay, thank you again, Mr. Gibbons, for
I should get your email address.